What's up, YouTube? The Movie Tweaker podcast, episode 7. I got Daniel with me. How's it going, Daniel?
It's going good.
All right. We have been on a little hiatus. Started a new job, so that's part of the reason. Mainly all my faults, none of Daniel's. But yeah, we're probably going to be moving the podcast to probably sometime during the week. I'm just going to do that. We're going to be doing more. I want to get an extra 1 or 2 people on this. So if anybody watching this, you want to be in the movie podcast, we do Walking Dead stuff. We do movie trailers. We do TV shows. Bring up what you want to talk about, stuff you watch. We don't mind talking about it. We do different any type of movies you watch. We'll talk about it. I want to get some more people in on this. So if you're wanting to do it and you're down with all that I talked about, let me know in the comments section. All right, first thing we're going to talk about. Did you see the Ghostbusters trailer?
Yes.
Okay. What is your overall thoughts about it?
I was never a big fan of Ghostbusters. Like I like the first one, and I like the people that are in it more than really the story around it. Of course, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, all them. Feels like a rehash of the first Ghostbusters. You know, they copied the scene almost where the ghost is all nice and then it scares them. It basically just rehashes some stuff from Ghostbusters, the train area from Ghostbusters 2, this whole train railway and all that. So, I have no problem with the female leads. I could care less about that. It could be guy, girls. I don't care. Fine with the girls. But just how the story in general, the ghosts look very glowy. I mean, the effects look okay, but it's not something that I'm like, I need to see now. But, I'll check it out in theaters. But I thought it was like a 6 out of 10, basically, of a trailer. It was okay. I mean, it's not really – it could have been better. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm half and half with it. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. The reason your ghosts are glowy, that's how Ghostbusters is. They didn't change it. They kept it original.
Right.
They're not like a ghost from The Conjuring. Well, there wasn't it's not like something like that.
Yeah.
More like a glowy ghost. Like one thing I found a little odd in it, they didn't have Slimer in it. And Slimer is like an iconic Ghostbuster character. He's a ghost, but Slimer was like in the cartoons, he was like pretty much there. He was always around.
Right.
He was like a good ghost. So I thought it was a little weird Slimer wasn't in there. I thought it was a little weird they didn't have nobody answering the phones, like how they do in in the original Ghostbusters. What is the lady's name? She's like iconic character, but they didn't have her. They're going a little bit about it a little different. Like it's gonna be like it's the same, but it's different. They all a group of friends that got together, which they kind of were in the other one. But the problem I had with it's not that it just to me when they tried to be funny in the trailer, I didn't find it funny. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was a little lost. I mean, it wasn't like terrible, like where it wasn't funny at all, but it was like, okay, I like Melissa McCarthy. I think she's pretty good. I think I don't have a problem with it being women. It's not at all. I'm not against that. I do think it's going to be a good movie. I just don't think it's going to be the Ghostbusters that everybody wanted. Like, I don't think it's going to live up to the original Ghostbusters with Bill Murray and, like Egon, the original cast, did it.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll have to see, like, with that. I see where you're talking that it shows a lot of the scenes from old, Ghostbusters. I like how they did the whole hearse thing and then they turned it into the Ghostbuster car or the Ghostbuster hearse, whatever you want to call it. I like that. But overall, I would give it about a 7 out of 10 for the trailer. I thought the trailer could have been a little bit better, but it gives you a general idea what it's about. It isn't, it's a lot better than I thought it'd be. I'll tell you that. Because when they first announced it, I was like, huh? I was like, they're gonna do women Ghostbusters. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it, but I have to see maybe another trailer. I don't want them to give away too much about, what the main ghost is or anything. Well, they did kind of. They said it was somebody that was pretty much sending off signals to amplify stuff. Like that. Yeah, they got to find out who's doing that. So far, it's all right. It's not the best trailer of the year, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that's our Any more on Ghostbusters?
Yeah. Well, we did see Slimer in one scene.
Oh, he wasn't. See, I missed Slimer now. I thought he wasn't in there. I only saw the trailer once.
Yeah, he's just for a quick shot.
Okay, so Slimer he was in there, huh? I didn't see him.
Okay. It's a real quick shot.
And, real. That's why I didn't get to see him. But I thought Slimer wasn't even in it because Slimer's he's been like an iconic character. So I thought it was weird, them not having him. So I guess they do have him. All right.
Right.
Well, maybe I have to check that out again. But yeah, I saw the trailer once. I wasn't so happy with it where I wanted to watch it twice, like some trailers. It did pass. I was a little nervous when they said stuff about Ghostbusters being all female. I just thought it was gonna be real stupid, but it don't look stupid. But anything else?
Yeah. Also, Chris Hemsworth is in here.
Oh yeah,
Thor.
Yep. He's but he's a ghost though, isn't he?
No, he's the receptionist or the.
Oh, okay. So he's the receptionist. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because because right when they bring him up in the trailer, they're saying, "Oh, these ghosts can present themselves as people." So I thought, I didn't know. I like in the beginning when they showed the Ghostbuster sign. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I do like it. I just thought it'd be a little bit better than the trailer. Maybe it's the trailer that was bad, but I will see. I love Ghostbusters. I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters. You may not seen that right now, but I love Ghostbusters. I grew up on Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But I just can't remember the original receptionist's name. I haven't seen the movie in years. There was two of them. What's that? Is this echoing?
Hold on. I don't think so. You might want to talk again.
Yeah, every time we do this podcast, I always hear echoes. It's like, I wonder why.
It's good right now.
Okay.
Wait, can you raise your volume up a little bit more, or is that?
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I'm hearing something like. Hold on, let me write a. Okay, you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A little bit better. Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Yeah.
But I just think they could have done a little better job with stuff, but it looks good. I mean, for the most part, I'm still gonna see it no matter what.
Right.
I noticed they have handguns now.
Yeah.
They don't just have their normal backpack.
Yeah. They're spicing it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. Other than that, looking forward to it. Let's move on to something else. Fuller House. What is your overall outlook on that?
I really liked the first episode. For sure, the premiere, it almost had a different feeling to it. That first few minutes, the opening of Fuller House, almost breaking the fourth wall type. But I've only seen 3 episodes, but it definitely it has that Full House feeling. Of course, it definitely following DJ and all the the family, and basically it almost feels like a Disney show now. Like it feels like Disney took over and basically like her kids and everything. That's kind of how it feels. Episode 2 and episode 3, which kind of like again it has a Disney feeling. But then when you see John Stamos, what's their names? The main 3 guys from Full House. When you see them, that's when the nostalgia hits and everything. They do their old lines and everything. I mean, it definitely has that Full House nostalgia. I haven't seen every Full House back then, but I have seen multiple episodes where I could get the gist of Full House. And I think they did very well. I mean, it's already been picked up for a second season, so it's doing pretty well for what it is. I laugh at few parts. Some episodes, they don't even have John Stamos, and so I was kind of surprised by that. I thought they would be in every single episode, but they're just focusing more on the kids and their lives and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, the reason you don't see John Stamos and, you know, Bob Saget and the other guy so much that plays Joey, I can't remember his name, it's because they're focusing this on DJ. They're DJ, Kimmy Gibbler, and, their sister. I'm just having an off day today, but basically DJ, Kimmy Gibbler, and the other sister, they're basically turning them into, you know, Joey, Danny, and Jesse. Like, you know, I'm sure as time goes on, you know, when the show gets popular, if it does, there's going to be money flashed in the Olsen twins' face and Bob Saget's face and, John Stamos and the other guy, and they're going to make more appearances on the show or be a permanent guest and just live next door or some shit. You know, or move in the fucking house with all of them. You know, they have a big enough house. But right now, they're not trying to make it so much of, you know, Full House. You know, they want to make it modern, you know, and it's going to be about them now, you know. So you're going to see probably a lot of the twins, Jesse and, you know, Rebecca's kids that are older now. They're going to be in it a lot. You're going to see Steve as the next door neighbor. He'll be probably in the show more. I've saw only the first episode and part of the second, so I'm just going based off what I saw. But I can get an understanding of what they're going to do. You're going to see the kids are, you know what, they're kind of in the same type of feel that I got for it. You remember how Boy Meets World was the old days? You know, like now you got Girl Meets World. Do you know what Boy Meets World is? Okay.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Boy Meets World, from what it is now with this Girl Meets World, that's Disney. Right. They turned that show completely Disney. That's as Disney. Right. That is Disney. Now, Fuller House, I wouldn't say is that bad. From what I've seen, I only seen the first episode and part of the second one. And I could see where you're saying that, like with the kids, but it's not as bad as, like, I wouldn't say it's that drastic, because they make references to certain things that you wouldn't think they would in the first episode, where she's talking about partying and all that stuff.
Right. But
my outlook on it, the first episode it's definitely for the hardcore fan of Full House. Like, that's the trick to this show is it going to catch on in today's society? I don't know. Like, the critics tore it apart. You know, I got a really low score, I believe, on Metacritic, when I looked at it, it was low, but less it went up. I know a lot of people that I've talked to liked it, you know, but will it work with the mass audience? Like, you know, these shows back then, that was 90s shows. That's what was like, that goofy, quirky humor worked back then. Will it work now? That's the question. And if I had a guess before I seen this episode, I would go with no, but it was a good episode. But did I like it because I'm from that era and I liked that show growing up? You know, that could be just me. But will a person that didn't grow up on that show, you know, would they like it? I don't know. Today, it's a weird. We got a very critical, you know, generation. Very critical on shit. Like, you know, that they're, you know, they're the stuff that you see in comment sections on YouTube is like they never like anything. So I'm surprised if they do like it. You know, but for most people I talked to, they liked it. I'm hoping it does good because I like the show. I just haven't. I started a new job recently, so I haven't had the time to watch the whole thing. I got to see the first episode. I got to catch up on, you know, I'm almost caught up on Arrow season 3. I'm almost all caught up on The Flash. So I've been watching a lot of other stuff, and I game too. So it's hard to juggle it all in one. But so far, Fuller House, I'm going by the first episode. I liked, you know, basically how they did the whole thing with Jesse singing, because he sang this Forever song that he used to sing in the old show. It's an old Beach Boys song. Because he's a big, I wonder, you know, in the show he was always a big fan of the Beach Boys, and you know he played in some of the episodes he did songs with them and stuff. And in real life, I believe John Stamos likes the Beach Boys, if I remember correctly.
Right.
They all look very good for their age. Like DJ looks really, really good. Like she's hot. Like she was always good looking, but she looked, and she don't look any different. Like even Joey looks like good for. I'm just saying, for as old as he is, he looks like the same old Joey. Now Bob Saget, I would definitely say he's the one that has aged. You can tell he's like a little fatter or something.
Yeah.
But Kimmy Gibbler, she looks the same. The acting is there, but they've done this before, so they shouldn't have a problem doing that.
Right.
What if you had anything wrong with the show? What would you say was wrong with it?
Not much is wrong with the show. Just sometimes the little kid, doing those jokes, like the youngest one of DJ's kid. I think it's DJ's kid. Where that's where that Disney feeling comes in, where they just he pops up and says something random and the crowd laughs. I don't even know if that's actually filmed in front of a live audience, because sometimes they just fake that and put that, because again, like every sitcom or what, the audience is laughing at something that's not really even that funny. They laugh every 5 seconds. Yeah, so that's it's annoying with a Fuller House. But the acting's not so amazing, but that's not something that I don't watch it to see amazing acting or anything. I do like Fuller House, and it's something that I'm gonna watch the whole season. I never planned on not watching the whole season, but I can't see much wrong with it. The production's good. It had that same Full House feeling at times. Jesse's awesome there, John Stamos as well. They're all back to their old characters. I like the intro too, the new intro. I would have preferred the old intro though, just how X-Files kept their old intro. I kind of wish they had the same 90s intro, but they updated it a little bit. And I like seeing from the 90s, DJ from the original show to now. I thought that was a cool intro. But not much wrong with it. Again, just that little kid sometimes gets on my nerve, where it's just they try to it's not that funny what he says, and they all think it's adorable and all that stuff. So,
well, going back to Stephanie Tanner, she even looks good. I couldn't remember her name for some reason, but I don't know. My only thing is, if they make it too Disney, like you're saying, if they go the whole Disney route and they need to make it. They got to understand this is for people that grew up in, the 90s. A lot of people want to see it. So a lot of adults are watching it. And I know kids are watching it too, but make it for both. Make it for both. I hope they don't go the Disney route. Now, Girl Meets World, yeah, that's like a show that's definitely for, younger kids, but Fuller House, the older crowd wanted this, that a lot of them that grew up on this. I understand they have to cater to the new crowd too, but make it half and half. Don't go the whole Disney route. That's my only thing. I'm with you. Some of the jokes were kind of stupid, but it is what it is. They're trying, and I'd like to see at least one of the Olsen twins make a comeback. That'd be cool. Yeah. My whole thing is, if I had a grade just going by the first pilot, I'd give it an 8.5. What's your review from 1 to 10?
No, I'd give it an 8 as well, an 8 out of 10 for the 3 episodes I've seen, an 8 out of 10 so far. They have good storylines. The 3rd episode is probably my favorite so far.
Okay. What about you've seen episode 1st through 3rd. Now, would you say it gets better, or is it the first episode and then it kind of, how do you say each episode gets a lot better, or where does it go with it?
Yeah, it gets, again, I've only seen 3, but I'm assuming it gets way better. The 2nd episode, it was good. It was more contained. Of course, they're always mostly in the house, obviously, but it's just more, like I said, they focus more on the kids and everything, the 2nd episode, but the 3rd, some surprise appearances or stuff like that. So the 3rd episode was just a little bit more fun. They actually went out somewhere, DJ and, girl night sort of thing. So it just was different. I liked the third episode more better. Yeah, it just does get better. But the first episode was more of that like comeback, hey, welcome back. It's good to be back. The whole cast on the stage and everything sort of thing. And then the second's basically DJ and the family doing their thing. And then the third is basically, girls' night out sort of. So like there's different storylines, obviously. But yeah, it does get better overall. Almost where I want to see more, but I usually watch it with my mom and grandma. That's kind of like that family thing to sit down and watch it.
Oh, okay. So overall, it was decent. It picks up. It's pretty good from what I said. I have high hopes for it. I'm hoping that it actually works. Anything else you want to add on it?
Yeah, other than that, it's great to see all these old shows coming back. I mean, I think, and it's already picked up again for a second season, so obviously it worked. Like, no matter what the critics say or how much hate on it and all that stuff, Fuller House worked. X-Files worked. That means everything's that's coming back from 90s or 80s. Twin Peaks is coming back, so it proves that old shows could come back. And
so X-Files did get picked up for more episodes?
No, not yet, but that's up to the actress, like if she wants to continue. But most likely, the way they ended it, yeah, they're going to continue.
Oh, okay. So any more in Fuller House?
No, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, just a little bit more on my ad. I like how they were taking jabs at, Michelle for not being on the show. They pretty much said everybody's here, where that's what they all looked at the camera. I thought that was pretty good.
Right.
I like that they brought Steve back. I don't know the whole kids, like the kids that they had and how they're going to be in the show. That's questionable, but everybody that was there from the get-go, they did a good job. And I'd like to see Bob Saget and John Stamos and the other dude come back as a permanent thing, or at least half the season. Come back for 6 episodes each season if they don't want to do the full thing.
Right.
But so far, and they even showed Comet, the original dog. Like not the original dog, but they got a new Comet. And then they had a puppy. So
yeah.
I don't know what they're going to name the new dogs. I didn't see the full next episode. They mentioned that or not, but I think it'll be good. Full House is a show like Family Matters that a lot of people liked. It was a show for its era, though. That's the only thing. Time may not work with this show. It may not. People may not get into it. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Fuller House, that actually is. That's on Netflix right now. Check that out. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about. You said you saw The Witch. Can you give me a little bit now? Let me say my part on it.
Yeah.
When I saw the trailer for The Witch, before I saw any of the reviews and everybody raving about it, I was like, this could be very good or it could be very bad. That's what I got looking at the trailer, because they don't really show you much at all in the trailer, and that's a good thing. But I think they don't show you much at all in the trailer. What's your thoughts?
No, the first trailer, I remember seeing it for the first time in theaters. Which is the one they stuck with the whole year, because this was January 27th, 2015 when they released, and it barely released this year. So it's been made for a long time. But the trailer itself, I thought it had a good horror to it, or a good feeling. The music to it. It did say in the trailer, it feels like we're watching something that we shouldn't be watching, and that's basically how it feels when you're watching the movie. Like, you feel like it's just you're dirty, or it's a very dirty feeling inside your mind, disturbing. So the trailer, I think, does it a lot of justice. I mean, what you see in the trailer, it's even more darker in the movie. If you can imagine, way more darker. It's creepy. It's a Sundance indie movie, so of course the directing is awesome. I mean, it definitely deserves some awards, for what they did. But I like the trailer. I think the trailer really, that's what, the first time I saw it, I was like, I got to see this movie. And of course, at the time, I don't watch every single horror movie or sort of stuff like that, like Ouija board sort of stuff. like, you know, horror movies that are just made to make a quick buck sort of thing. But this movie actually looked like they put their, you know, the director, writer put their heart and soul into it. They wanted to make this movie. This is something they built from the ground up. So you can see that in the trailer, the you know, the almost theatrical sort of 1600s, you know, type of look to it. So I like the trailer a lot.
Okay. So overall, like, what movie could you compare this to on the level of another horror movie that you thought was good that would be not the same exact movie, but like you thought it was as good as that movie?
Oh, that's very hard. I don't see horror movies.
What's your like out of all the horror movies you saw in your life that you liked a lot? What is this on any of the level of them?
Yeah, well, it may be my favorite horror. Well, it's not really horror, but yeah, a little horror. Like probably my favorite out of the whole, you know, past year so far. I mean, my favorite horror movie is Halloween from 1970s. Like that's my favorite. I mean, it's up there with like, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's better than most horror movies coming out over the past years. That's for sure. But it's not something like there's blood, gallons of blood, or anything like that. Like Evil Dead.
Not trying to change the subject, but did you see The Conjuring yet?
I did, yeah.
Oh man! Oh wait, save that then. Well, would you say this is near The Conjuring?
Almost sort of. I mean, not like Ghoster in here, but I mean, yeah, like sort of that up close sort of feeling, the cabin and all that, but like the house in The Conjuring, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't know. I kind of like The Witch a little bit more than The Conjuring, but that's also because of the style in the 1600s and the dialogue that they use. So you're talking about like whenever The Conjuring was based, the 70s or 80s.
Well, what movie scared you? Like, and is it? Let's fix this first. Is this a scary movie?
It's more a suspense. I mean, it's more like you're gonna be disturbed and creeped out sort of movie.
Oh, okay. So it's one of them. It's not like a movie that's gonna actually scare you. It's more of like
There are a few. I mean, it depends if you're like easily scared or if you're not easily scared. Then it depends.
Is it like a torture movie? Is that what you're trying to say, or is it one of them type of scary movies? Like, you know, people call like Saw and Hostel a scary movie. It's not like that kind of scary, is it?
No, it's not like, you know, they're cutting your eye out.
Witch isn't torturing people or not. It's just like she's like, no. Okay. That's what I was gathering. I thought I was getting out of that. Anything else that you could say about the Witch?
Acting's awesome. I think they made it for $3.5 million. So that what they did was awesome. There are a few little problems. I mean, I'm not gonna try to spoil, but like, why is this witch doing what they're doing? That sort of stuff like that. Like, why are they targeting this family? That's never really explained. The ending was really ballsy for what they did. I liked the ending a lot. The last shot. Definitely, again, it's, I don't know what to call it, a thriller, suspense, yeah, a little horror in there. The music's what makes it. It's not like a jump scare movie where there's going to be if there's a jump scare, you can't tell that it's coming. They never warn you or the music or anything of a jump scare is coming. So it definitely is. It's a different movie than I've seen over the past few years, and I could definitely say this will probably be, I mean, we still got a long time until December, but maybe on my top 10 best movies of the year list for The Witch.
Okay. So yeah, the whole thing where I'm at with The Witch, I had low expectations for this movie because when I saw the trailer, it didn't really show much. You saw a goat going nuts. You saw a kid like shaking around. I had a feeling it could be a bomb of a movie, meaning bad. But it's one of the movies that, like I said in the beginning, it could be either really good or really bad, and I guess it's really good. Like some people like that movie, The Following. I think what's it called? The car. Is it The Following? The one that came out this year that it was like directed like it was in the 80s. You know what movie I'm talking about?
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a horror movie. It's maybe it's not the
It came out this year, and
no, it came out last year, and it's like the movie set up in they set it up in like the 80s, and what happens is a guy like has sex with the girl and gives her a ghost. You know what I'm talking about?
It follows.
It follows. Like, a lot of people raved about that movie, and I didn't think it was like terrible, but I didn't get what people were going on about that. Now the Babadook, I thought that was really good. You know, but did you like It Follows?
I never seen it.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't see what everybody was. I seen where people say, "Oh, it's directed like an '80s movie," blah blah. But there's parts in the movie where you'll see like a guy standing on a roof. Like, okay, the ghost comes after them. Like, I don't know. It's really, I don't want to ruin anything, but there's a part in the movie where you see it's supposedly supposed to be the, whatever it is. It's standing on the roof, and it takes the shape of a guy, an old man, butt naked on the roof. What is that? Like, it's just weird. Why would they do that? Like, just they randomly pick an old man naked on the roof, like, staring there. Like, you know, and he's like, the ghost took his shape. It didn't make sense. Like, it did and it didn't. Like, why did they pick? Why did they do that? Why couldn't they just pick something else? Like, and it's stupid. Like, when the ghost comes after you, why they call it follows? It just keeps walking after you. Like if I'm in my house and I board the windows up, it can't get me. But as long as I have an exit to get out, I'm okay. Like you'll see the movie and you'll be like, what? Like if you really examine what's going on, But it wasn't like a terrible movie, but a lot of people raved about that movie. Now, The Babadook, that was a really good movie. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, definitely check that out. That's more of like, it's not just about some kind of entity or monster after somebody. It's about like what the woman's going through. She's got this kid that just fucking is driving her nuts in life. She lost like a family member. I'm not trying to give too much away. She lost a family member, and she's pretty much on her own, you know, and she has this kid that's just a fucking hellion. And the ghost, the Babadook comes through the book. Like, they read the book, the Babadook. It's really good. Like, the kid that is annoying, he plays that part to a T. And it's really good. Like, that's why I was wanting to know, is this movie on the level of the Babadook? Because the Babadook was like an indie film, too. But what did you give the Witch from a 1 to a 10?
An 8.2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's cool. All right. So we covered The Witch. I wish I could go in on it. I didn't get to see it yet, but I'm glad Daniel could share that with us. Any other movies you've seen lately that you'd want to talk about?
Yeah, I've seen like 5, but I'll go through them quick. I saw Risen, which is a for sort of like a non-believer, movie. They crucified Jesus and all that. He's a non-believer, and then he becomes a believer. That sort of storyline. He's a Roman guard. He's a douche basically. It was okay. Yeah, I don't think many people really went to go see it. It's called Risen. The guy, if you've seen Fear the Walking Dead, the guy who plays Travis in Fear the Walking Dead, he plays Jesus Christ, which was a weird combination because Jesus was like a hippie in the movie Risen. So, that was sort of a funny thing to see. Like, if you want to see hippie Jesus, Risen is a cool movie to see. But I gave that 6.7 out of 10, and I saw that 2 weeks ago. This was 2 weeks ago was. And then from 2 weeks ago, I saw Race, which is a Jesse Owens movie. It's a biography movie. It has Jason Sudeikis. It has Jeremy Irons, and it has William Hurt, and it's about the 1936 Olympics when Jesse Owens went to go to do the track, doing track and all that, and Hitler was there, and Nazis are there, and obviously that whole storyline in the racist 1936 style. So it definitely Race, 7.3. It's a very underrated movie. If you guys at least watch the trailer for Race. I didn't want to see the movie whatsoever. Once I sat down in the theater and it started playing, I had a good time, and it's a long ass movie. It's 2 hours and 2 hours and 10 minutes, but it feels like a 3 hour movie. I would say wait for rental, but Race, definitely check out the trailer if you haven't. And then this week's movies, I saw Eddie the Eagle, which has Hugh Jackman and the guy from Kingsman, Taron Egerton. That movie was really good as well. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's based off the real Eddie Edwards from the 1980 something. It was like 1986, I think it was. 1986 Olympics. This whole ski diving and all that stuff. That was really good. Hugh Jackman was awesome in there, and I mean Eddie the Eagle is more of a rental. So if you guys want to check that out, it's really has some good 80s music. And then like the worst movie out of February, I saw Gods of Egypt with Gerard Butler. That was such a horrible movie. It has Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones. He plays Horace. It was really bad. I mean, I think they made $15 million, and it was a $140 million budget to make. So they fell to the box office bad. It's never see Gods of Egypt ever. I gave it a 4.8 out of 10. I mean, the action's bad, the writing's bad, the effects are bad, the jokes, the dialogue, the one-liners are bad. It's just like it's really a bad movie. It's like the Norm of the North of January, which was the animation movie. It's a horrible movie. And then the last movie I saw was 999, which it was really good. Underrated movie already. It didn't make the top 5 at the box office, which it should have made at least number 5.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Woody Harrelson, right?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson, Casey Affleck, Aaron Paul, Norman Reedus. So many actors in there. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Kate Winslet, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. She's in there. A lot of good actors and actresses. But I gave it a 7.6 out of 10. It was, good acting. Woody Harrelson was awesome in there. Casey Affleck, Anthony Mackie's in there. So the cast is good. The acting's good. The action's awesome. It's very realistic. The police type of force, SWAT, all that, dirty cops. So all that stuff was really good. Again, underrated movie. So like, if you like Sicario movies or movies where someone gets shot in the head, it's gonna the blood's gonna explode and the head's gonna explode, and it's that type of like hardcore movie. Definitely, it's a movie for people like that. Like the last movie I saw that was like this was like Sicario. I wouldn't really compare it to Sicario when they were like in Mexico and everything, but it has like brutal decapitated heads, Mexican gangs and everything in this movie. So 7.6 out of 10. For that movie. And then I see 2 or 3 movies this week. London Has Fallen, Zootopia, and
How is that?
Foxtrot. I see those movies this week.
Oh, okay, you're seeing them this week. I didn't know if that was out or not yet.
Yeah, but that's the movies. That's all.
All right, thank you for the rundown, man. I didn't get to see a lot. I've been having a lot of stuff going on, so I didn't get to check out certain things, which I did catch up. Which I want to talk a little bit of superhero stuff going on here. I am almost completely caught up on Arrow season 3, and I'm bringing up Arrow season 3. I'm not finished with it, but I'm getting close. There's a lot of people that like Arrow, but they always say season 3 is the bad one.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it. I don't know why. I was waiting to see this horrible season. And yes, I understand Felicity gets annoying, but that's her character. I mean, does she overact at times? Yes. But it's just like that's her character. Her character's annoying. Like I think if they wanted Felicity to change, they should have wrote a different. Now if you ever, I never read the comic books of Arrow. Is Felicity annoying in the comic books? If you know,
she's not in the comics.
Huh?
She's not in the comics.
Oh, she's not in the comics, so she was put in this just for the show, right?
Yeah.
So I never got into Arrow. Like I don't know too much about the comics. Mm-hmm. So is Arrow from the comics? Do you know much about the comics of Arrow or anything about them?
I know a few. about the comics.
Okay, so in the comics, does Arrow have all these people helping him, like in the movie or the TV show?
Yeah, well, he's married to Laurel in the comics, or Black Canary. I don't know if her name's Laurel. Yeah, I think it's Laurel in there, or Sarah, and one of them. But the Black Canary, he's married to the Black Canary and everything. And Diggle is not a comic book character. This is basically Green Arrow is basically the character from the comics, and then Black Canary, basically the people around him, like Red Arrow or that sort of stuff. They're based from the comics, but everyone like Captain Lance is all like TV show add-ons.
Okay, because like let's say some of the things I think that are stupid about season 3. I'll start with the stuff I think's bad or don't make any sense, and it kind of reflects on the whole show too. All right, and so you got Diggle running around. You know, he's running around without a mask on. He's just the guy, you know, basically like me. If I'm gonna go help Batman, everybody would know who the hell I am. You know, I'm going around with a gun. That's another thing. Okay, what kind of bullets is he shooting at these people?
What was that again?
What is loaded in Diggle's gun? Is it actual ammo, or is it rubber bullets that shoot out of a gun? Like he's literally shooting people, and they're supposedly not supposed to kill nobody, right?
Yeah.
So you get where I'm coming. You get where I'm coming from that. Okay. That's a problem I see, but it's a TV show, so I overlook it. You know. Another problem that I have with it is the Diggle. Like I mentioned, Diggle's running around without. Now you said later on he does get a helmet, but he's still. They know who he is. They know he's helping the Arrow. Like, why don't they just go for Diggle, hold him hostage? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, why doesn't the cops arrest Diggle for taking crime into his own hands?
Right.
You know, so Diggle's a vigilante too. It's not just Arrow. He's out there too fighting crime, and he's out there without no mask on or nothing. He's like, oh, I like it better this way. You know, like he's, you know. Now I don't know. You said later on he gets a helmet, right?
Yeah, he does, and it's even worse. Like when he gets a helmet, so
it's even worse. Okay, so are you a big fan of Diggle? I think it. No.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Are you a big fan of the Diggle character?
Yeah, no, I like Diggle. Definitely, him and Oliver have emotional scenes coming in season 4. Like these, you know, they're good off each other. Like they bounce off each other and everything. He's a good actor, and you know the good character. He's a good character, but when he's in combat and all that, it's kind of like, you know, sort of.
Roy's starting to grow on me. I didn't like Roy at first, but he's getting a little bit better. He just reminds me of like. I don't know. He's one that I feel like you feel like how Felicity overacts. I feel Roy overacts. You know, Roy, I just feel like he's like this all the time when he has his mask on. He's like real serious. Like I'm just like, you know,
yeah.
It's just a little much at times. But his character's getting better. The first you know, from when he was introduced to now. Where I'm at in the show in season 3, almost done with it. He's came a long way. It's getting better. I do agree with you when we were talking outside the podcast messages about you. Now you say you have a problem with Laurel being this you know, she's taking down assassins. Like she's just like, because I'm at a stage where she's basically running around with a club and just clubbing people and then getting her ass kicked sometimes. Like she gets beat up pretty bad by the one dude that puts her on the drug. He like shoots her in the neck with a drug, and then he just starts like wailing on her, and she's seeing her sister, you know, she's seeing Sarah, and then they take her back. They put the anti, you know, thing to get the what's that drug called?
The vertigo.
To get the vertigo out of her system, and then the dumbass goes back again and gets shot again with vertigo. Like, I'm like, again? Like, she didn't learn her lesson the first time? So, like, at least Sarah, at least Oliver, and at least Thea. Even Thea's believable because she's training with Malcolm Merlin that's a fucking, you know, a League of an Assassin.
Yeah.
Laurel's training with some old vigilante that's a boxer, you know, like, and he's not on the level of Malcolm Merlin or the League of Assassins or Deathstroke, you know, like he's not even on that level. And so I didn't finish it yet. Does Laurel get more better with fighting or something somehow, or?
No, she does.
Okay. So so then you have so we talked about them. You talked about Felicity. What about this new guy that they introduced for me? Because we are talking season 3 and behind season 3, like season 2 and season 1. We're not going into them, but we're going to reference some stuff off of them. The guy that Felicity meets that takes over Oliver's company.
Oh, Ray Palmer.
Does he just magically acquire how to fight too, like Laurel, or?
Well, I can't remember where. Is he fighting without like a suit or anything? Is he just fighting like fighting?
He's building his suit now. He has it built now. Where I'm at, he just flown like Felicity's sleeping. He flies by the window.
Okay, yeah. I'm assuming he knows how to fight a little bit, learned from somewhere. But no, he's a good character.
He's like the Iron Man. He's like Iron Man of DC. It seems like. Is that?
Yeah.
That would.
Yeah.
Because you know, DC and Marvel have very similar characters. Like even in the Flash, they have a guy that's like the Sandman. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's almost like he's both. Like Ray Palmer's like Iron Man and Ant-Man mixed together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Ray Palmer. I do like him. I gotta watch. He was kind of just been in this season, you know. So he's a good character. I liked Sarah. Like at least Sarah, you know, the Canary. She's believable. You know, she's trained with the League of Assassins. You know, that's believable. I like, and she, you know, when you look at her as a character, she fits the bill. You know, she looks like a superhero. Same thing. Oliver, he does, and then he doesn't at times. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying.
But Oliver, I think overall, I love Arrow. I love the show. I really do. I like Deathstroke. I love how they did that. That was cool in season 2. And then he's in season 3. I saw him get Malcolm Merlin lets him loose or something.
Yeah.
Is he in it anymore after that? Like he ain't in season 4, right?
No, that was the last time. I think it was like episode 14 of season 3. That was it.
So that's the last time you see Deathstroke for now.
Yeah. For now.
All right. So we talked about the characters. Well, we didn't go on about. Do you like Ra's al Ghul? How they did him?
Yeah, I really. I liked Ra's al Ghul or Ra's, whatever. You know, I liked him a lot. You know, because again, I met Ra's al Ghul, Matt Nable, the actor who plays him, and I literally had a 5-minute conversation with him, like in depth. No one was behind me in line. We just talked back and forth, and like I told him like he's at Ra's Raz, and he didn't even know himself. They kind of just told him to go with whatever they're saying in the show, and you know, I told him I like you better than Liam Neeson. Then when Liam Neeson played Ra's al Ghul in the movie The Dark Knight Begins, all that. And I really do like his character. I just think he's very underused for what he is, you know, because it took a long time to introduce Ra's al Ghul in the show. It did take quite some time to actually get him in there, and then he barely shows up. And then when he shows up, now you've already seen the mountain fight where they're fighting on the mountain.
Well, I've seen the first fight. I don't know if there's another one where they're fighting on the mountain and Oliver. Yeah. Spoiler alert! I don't want to ruin it for anyone. I mean, we already spoiled a lot of stuff, but basically, Oliver gets stabbed. I would say through the heart.
No, I think it was more of like the stomach area.
It was definitely a fatal fucking stab. I would say if I was stabbed like that with a sword, and fell off a mountain like that and hit the side of the mountain, I'd probably be dead. But he is Oliver Queen, so. Yeah. So basically, then what's her name saves him? Like he calls his buddy. I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
She
Her
brings
name,
back to life.
yeah, her name's I know her superhero named Katana. That's what I know her as. She's Katana, but and her husband and everything. Her husband's in the League of Assassins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I forgot her name.
So what were you saying with when Oliver gets killed?
Like when I saw it, or
No, what were you were wanting to ask about something about that? Like, where were you going with that?
oh, about Ra's al Ghul and everything.
Yeah, when he kills all of them.
Oh no, I didn't ask him about. I just said, when are you going to be back? Like later in the years, or CW, or are you going to show up in any other show, sort of thing. And he said, like, yeah, I'm going to be filming some stuff in a few months. And it turned. I mean, you're not spoiling anything, but like he said that I think it's announced that he is going to show up in Legends of Tomorrow. I don't know what episode, but he's going to be in Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Probably going back in time when Ra's al Ghul was like young or something.
Okay. What I'm trying to find that. What's her name? Yeah, I can't say her. It's basically the girl that. Now with Arrow, I like how they flash back and forth and show you like history, like what happened in the past, like how Oliver was basically in Starling Silver. The name of the town, Starling Silver, I think it's called.
Star City.
Star City, and he's basically doing missions like for the person that runs the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
so it is. I like the backstory, but what happens when they tell all of Oliver's backstory? Do they go to somebody? Are they? Because I'm seeing backstory from other characters. Are they just going to go to other people now?
No, I don't think like once they go to. I think Stephen Amell said their main goal is to go up to 5 years because they said 5 years on the island or whatever. So once we get to season 5, like the flashbacks and everything, that's where it's sort of going to end. I don't know if they're going to continue after season 5 because Stephen Amell's, doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. So I don't know if he wants to move on and do different things.
Oh, so
but like the flashbacks, all that will be like season 5.
Arrow may end at season 5.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not like confirming or like I don't know inside sort like any of that stuff, but I'm assuming, with the Flash going on and everything, and Legends of Tomorrow with all the other shows, they could take a break from Arrow or they could continue. But doing 23 episodes, which is like 8 or 9 months of filming, you only get a few months off. It's kind of like, we're already we're going to the end of season 4. If they do one more year, that's a lot to do with their body, and so I don't know if he wants to take a break because it seems like he's sort of getting tired with it.
Like who like more about Arrow I don't know much about Arrow at all with the comics. I just know what I've seen in the show. Who is Oliver? Like, who is his like arch nemesis? Is it Deathstroke?
No, like Deathstroke's more of a Batman villain when they brought him in.
I thought he was in Batman, so I was like, who is Oliver's arch nemesis? Is it like?
I mean, I have a lot of Green Arrow comics, but they're more like Green Arrow, Green Lantern, like team ups and everything. I mean, Dark Archer, I think, is his main villain, like the one from season 1, Malcolm. That sort of villain. I think Malcolm Merlin is from the comics, if I'm not mistaken. So that's his main nemesis. But Oliver is not like Green Arrow from the comics, because Green Arrow is more funny. He makes comedy jokes. He's not all depressed. So that's how he's different from the show and comics.
Oh, okay, so basically, so far, I like season 3. I think now, what do you like? Do you like Thea? Do you like what they did with her?
What did they do in season 3?
Well, basically teaching her how to fight and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think that was. I mean, Thea is annoying at times, especially in season 4. But like when she's or like when she's kicking ass and all that stuff, like all that sort of stuff, like she's pretty badass.
Okay. What if you had to grade season 3? If you had to give it from 1 to a 10, what would you give it? I'm not going to totally grade it yet because I didn't get to finish it, but what would you grade it?
Well, that's I would say 7 out of 10, but more like a 6 out of 10. Like the overall 23 episodes, like looking back at it, it's a 6 out of 10, which I would say that's an okay rating for what it is. It's okay, like 6 out of 10. Like I said, like season 1 is good, season 2 is great, and season 3 is okay. So it's not total crap or anything. It does have some good things out of it. But if I had to choose what season I would rewatch again, it would be season 2 out of all the seasons.
Okay. Now let's talk a little. I know I didn't see season 4, but does it pick up from season 3?
It jumps a few months, like 6 months or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like where it's headed in season 3 or no?
Season 4.
Or season 4?
Yeah, well, again, I have only seen 11 episodes. There's like 15 episodes, and they're on break. They come back March 22nd. I just haven't caught up with it yet. I could, but I just haven't. I've been busy with other things. But for what I've seen so far, the villain in season 4 is really good. I honestly sort of almost a little bit more better than Rachel Gould, but the villain in season 4 is really good. The action gets a little bit more better. We get to see some new villains like Anarchy. There's a special guest appearance from another DC character that's very famous early on. So like a crossover, almost like a big crossover, but he lost his own show a few years ago. But yeah, I mean, there's some special things in season 4, except Diggle's helmet. That's pretty bad about the show. Laurel's good in there. Thea's good. I mean, everything's good. Malcolm Merlin. So there's a lot of drama in season 4, and Oliver does become a little bit more happy. Like he does, I mean, it's kind of out now that he does become the Green Arrow by season 4. So he'll have the name Green Arrow instead of just Arrow or Vigilante. So that's what kind of made it better. It's more of a happy feeling. But again, like the variety of enemies in season 4 is way more better.
Oh, so there is there a main bad guy in season 4?
Yeah, no, the villain in season 4 is way awesome. He's really awesome.
Okay, all right. So I'm looking forward to that. So they're at the mid-season finale on season 4, right?
No, they just got back a few weeks ago from it in January.
Okay.
It's just on break, like a 3-week break. Just a break.
Okay, all right. Well, we wanted to talk a little bit about Arrow. I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to catch up on it. Basically, we're going to go into... I do want to cover this before we go into The Walking Dead. So you saw The Conjuring. What did you think of it?
I really thought it was good. I didn't think it was a great movie, but I thought it was good. I turned off the lights. It was 1 a.m. and all that stuff. It definitely had that horror feeling where I knew something was going to come up. It started with that Annabelle stuff. So I was really I was getting creeped out during the movie where I almost was saying example, don't go in that closet. I kept on talking to myself out loud, because I knew something was going to happen. And then when it happened, I was preparing myself basically for it. It did have good horror in there. Ed and Lorraine Warren, I like them a lot. Of course, the actor and actress, they're both very talented. They're basically the main reason I really saw it was the actor from Fargo. But yeah, I really liked it. I mean, they had a lot of kids, that family, for what they did. I mean, that was a lot of kids. A little continuity stuff, or some stuff I had problems with, as in that scene where all the frames fall on the stairway. When she goes downstairs and all of it falls, and the kids don't wake up one bit from that noise, or and basically the main ghost of the whole story. I kind of was mixed on that. I almost had this movie had The Visit type of vibe in a sort of way. I can't really explain it, but the old grandma sort of style, ghost that hung herself or whatever, that witch, whatever that storyline was behind that, and the house. So there were weird things about it, but I could see where they said it was when it came out in 2013 or whatever, they said it was a great movie. They recommended it to people to go into the movie theater. I really would have liked to see this in the theater, but then again, it had when I was seeing The Conjuring, I almost had like a Insidious vibe to it, not like full on Insidious, but like just little vibes here and there. Like I felt different cliched movies coming into this. Like I felt I've seen things that happened before in this movie, but definitely like Ed and Lorraine basically made it worth watching. Their whole paranormal class and everything. I like seeing that, and definitely I'm excited for Conjuring too. At least I know, their backstory and everything.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of probably movies of The Conjuring because they have a lot of stories to tell. I just want to say, we're just as a brief talk about The Conjuring. I want to see if you liked it. What would you grade it if you got from a 1 to a 10?
I'm gonna have to give it like a 7 out of a 10. Like, it's not. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I'm ready for the second movie in the summer or whenever it comes out. But it's not something that like I could like I've seen it, but I've already seen it. I don't need to like rewatch it anytime soon, sort of thing. It was a really good movie, but it just wasn't like I was expecting, more great. But I like the scene where they go in, downstairs for the first time and everything, and they like the camera changes to like that 70s sort of camera style, the documentary sort of style. I definitely have Poltergeist feeling as well, like the new Poltergeist feeling, where they're setting up the cameras and everything, and the ghost hunters, all that. So I had that sort of feeling to it. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was good. I definitely myself buying this for $5 and owning it and seeing it one day again. But good acting, just weird little things like little weird continuity errors. I saw the video of everything wrong with The Conjuring, like in like 15 minutes or less, and all that. Some stuff made sense of like some errors, but for the most part, it was good.
All right, I'm going to talk more about The Conjuring when the second one comes out and I see it. I'll go over the first one. I love the movie. I'll say a little brief thing. I thought it was great. I don't get scared by many. The most movies that ever scared me in my life is It the Clowns. That's Stephen King's It, and I'm talking. I saw these movies when I saw them when they came out. Like I was young.
Yeah.
Except The Exorcist. That's one that scared me. I didn't see exactly when it came out, but I seen it when I was 6 years old, and that movie scared the shit out of me. Yeah. These now horror is my main genre of movies. Like I've seen so many horror movies. It's not even funny.
Right.
So many movies just in general, but I'm saying horror. I've seen a lot of horror movies, and Conjuring just was creepy. Like it was, but it wasn't. I'm with you. It wasn't much different from other stuff, but I could see where they could go with this because they could tell other stories that they've done, the Ed and Lorraine Warren, because those are very famous ghost investigators. Mm-hmm. That have been on the Amityville case. They have done a bunch of stuff. They even did the one that they're going to make. The Enfield Haunting. They're going to do that in the next one, so it's going to be really good. So I scored. I think it was like a 9. The movie. I wouldn't give it a 10, but I give it a 9. That's me, 9 out of 10.
Right.
But let's move to The Walking Dead. I don't know where we left off. We didn't do last week's.
No, yeah, we left off on when they took back Alexandria and Carl gained his eye shot. That's the last one we did.
So we just were 1 episode off, right?
No, 2 episodes where we meet Jesus and then.
Okay, so we didn't talk about where they met Jesus and what Jesus brought them to the Okay. Let's just start with the whole thing when they met Jesus. Okay, basically, what was going on was they were scavenging Rick and Daryl for supplies, and I think Rick was bringing up we need to find new people or something.
Yeah. And
they run into Jesus, where basically, you don't know what to think of him at first, and then when he's like just trying to, he's trying to warn them about zombies, and then all of a sudden you hear firecrackers going off, and he's basically, distracted them to steal their fucking truck because it was loaded with fucking shit. But, so basically, this is my problem with that episode. So you mean to tell me that they ran down the road, they're running, And then on top of that, not only after they run the road, they catch up to Jesus, get the truck back, tie him up in the road, tie him up. Rick of all people ties him up, so I know he's tying that bitch tight. He gets loose, and he's on top of the fucking truck. How did he get out of that fast to get on? They were gone, you know. He gets on top of the truck, and that to me, both of those scenarios, I just was like, okay, this shows us it's getting to a little unbelievable with stuff. Not to a sense where it's so bad like certain things, but that episode I enjoyed a lot. I did like it. I liked how they, and then the big thing of that episode was when Rick slept with Michonne. And I guess that was something that was going to happen. I seen it coming. I seen it coming a while ago because I could see how like Carl was taken to her, and you know, basically she's taking care of Judith. You know, and Rick needs a woman. You know. So what better woman than fucking Michonne, you know? And then Jesus gets loose, and basically that's the end of that episode. Anything you want to talk about from what you liked in that episode?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the episode a lot. I think I give it an A-. Like, I thought it was great. Definitely a great episode. There were two parts to the episode, I think. Because it went back from Daryl and Rick to somebody else, or it may have been just them the whole time. But I felt like they went to someone before that. But yeah.
Well, that was the main. I just went over the main stuff that happened in that episode, the big things.
Right.
You know, it was the whole thing with Jesus, and then the other big thing was basically Michonne sleeping with Rick. You know, that was it. And then they wake up and Jesus is sitting there and he has to talk to them. But there was other stuff that took place, but I might be blending it in with last week's episode because we didn't cover last week, so that's my rundown of it. I liked the episode. I thought it was pretty good. If I had to score that episode, I'll just give my score now. I would say it was about an 8. You know, I thought it was an 8. But give your rundown of it.
I've been saying for weeks, or in multiple podcasts when we've been doing this for a few weeks, I've been saying like, I think right before it returned a few podcasts back, I was like, yeah, we're gonna meet Jesus soon, and I didn't know it was gonna be that soon, like right off, after the first mid premiere. I thought more like episode 12 or something, but definitely Jesus. He's a badass. He's a fan favorite character out of the whole Walking Dead comic books. He's one of those badass characters, and he showed that when he took down Rick and Daryl. Like, he took them down. I mean, it's hard to take Rick and Daryl down. So if Jesus could do that within like 10 seconds, then obviously, I mean, he's a badass. I know he gets like samurai gear or something like that, where he wears it and he has like a sword and he kicks ass I think in a part of the comics. I may be wrong with that, but he does have like some gear on. But the actor who plays Jesus, Tom Payne, he's perfect for the role. I didn't like the way that he was introduced. He just kind of bumped into them, which I thought that was kind of just, I know it was all like a trick and trap, but though just again bumping into them and everything, I thought that was just sort of weird to do that, to introduce a character that's going to be around for some time. But I think, basically he's Jesus, so he could basically, the way he got out of those knots and everything, he is skilled. He's a skilled person. I mean, I don't know, like, technically, like, realistically, how he got out of those knots, but, I mean, he just proves he's a badass. He could secretly, he's a ninja, basically. He could get on top of the truck without them knowing, and then just all that sort of thing. It is sucky that they lost the food truck, full of supplies and everything. I mean, they don't have toothpaste now and everything, which is kind of stupid.
And the food truck went in the lake too because they were fighting.
Yeah, that was a stupid. Like, Rick had the toothpaste in his hand; he could have just put it in his pocket, but he didn't do that. I think he just had mints or whatever he got out of that, but. Definitely that when Jesus saved Daryl and he was like duck, and then Daryl ended up hitting him in the head and everything. That was sort of, I thought like Daryl should have been like, noticed that Jesus saved him right there and then. They would have been like, hey, all right, you're okay. But Daryl, problems with people and everything. But overall, no, the episode was really good. The whole Michonne thing, Michonne and Rick. I always saw it coming, but I just never knew it would be in the end of an episode sort of thing. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm okay with them being together, obviously. Like, they're more like friends, but I mean, over time, ever since her appearance in season 3 to now, I mean, who would have thought back in season 3 that they'd be a couple like 3 years later? But yeah, it worked out well. I like how Jesus is in the room and everything, and they're naked, and it's a good ending for sure.
All right. So what would you give that episode if you had to?
Yeah, like a A-, a 9 out of 10.
A 9 out of 10. Okay. Now moving on to the next episode of the one after, the one last week.
Right.
Basically, they get introduced to the new. Jesus takes them to the
Hilltop.
new place. What? The hilltop, right?
Yeah.
And they basically meet a whole new group of people, and Jesus tells them, he says, "Hey, that your world's about to get a lot bigger."
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they meet when they first. What's the name of the building that they go into?
I'm not sure.
Well, basically, they go into that building, and
right.
they meet the head man, the head. Yeah, and Maggie ends up talking to him. He's a complete fucking prick. Yeah. And basically, throughout the episode, they get to a point to where Negan ends up capturing one of the brothers, and sends one of them back. To get he wants what he wants. What was he wanting again?
He wanted I think they said Gregory's head.
Yeah, he wanted Gregory's head.
Yeah.
So basically, he sends him back, stabs him. And then Rick and the rest of the group, they don't know, they just act how they normally act and start, fighting. And right. Basically, that's where you start to learn a little bit about Negan. So that last week's episode basically informed you a little bit of how Negan is. That's what I liked about it. So we're definitely learning, you could see the change in the show about to happen.
Right. Well, it's finally happening. I think that was a big thing, because when I was watching it, and I haven't read the comics to where Negan is, but I've read like Wikipedias and online source material. Like I've read stuff about Negan and some stuff like when he appears. I've read the stuff he says and everything, but I literally was having it was very like when they were saying like they call them the saviors and the leaders Negan, and I literally was having just a really big nerdgasm where I literally was just so excited. I mean, because finally this is happening. I've been waiting for 2-3 years. This is like Negan's appearing. This is finally it. And I mean, I feel bad for Rick, because Rick's just like, all right, we're going to go kill Negan. We'll be right back. Sort of.
Oh, yeah, like that's the thing. Like, yeah, Daryl said some famous, like he made like this really good statement in it, like, ooh, who's this boogeyman? Like he's nothing.
Yeah, he's just like a boogeyman with a good story. That's it.
Yeah, and they have no idea what they're up against. Like they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go load up, kill this guy, and get food from you guys. We want half, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it's not that easy. What's gonna go down? So it's really cool. I am getting the impression, though, next week's episode will be a filler. I think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Do you think next week's episode, or tomorrow night's episode, not next week's episode, tomorrow night's episode, could that possibly be a filler?
No, tomorrow will not be a filler at all. It's
okay. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow night?
Well, first off, they've been keeping the episode very secret, very secrecy. The guy who directed this episode is Greg Nicotero, and his team is responsible for creating the zombies and everything. He's a really good. He's the one who created like the zombie looks and everything for the show. He usually directs one or two, like 3 times out of the year for a season, like 3 out of the season, like the premiere, it's either the mid season finale and all that sort of thing. Like he directs the major episodes, the big major episodes. So he just directed the episode 2 weeks ago, the one where they're in Alexandria and Jesse dies and the wolf guy dies. He just directed that episode. So why is he directing this episode 2 weeks later, sort of thing? And he's also directing the finale. This guy only directs big episodes, like big comic book moments or something that big. This wouldn't be just a filler just to get Greg Nicotero to direct. So that already gives you a hint that it's going to be something big going on. And Scott Gimple said we may be seeing Negan very soon. Maybe not the finale, but we may, like, he kind of went like maybe, maybe not, maybe possibly, sort of teasing us, but we could see like Negan's silhouette. We could be hearing Negan voice. We could be hearing something about that. So I do think something's going to happen, like a character death, not by Negan, but I do think we're going to be somebody's death is going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, I didn't know all what you knew, like who directs what, and maybe that's a mistake. But the reason I was thinking this could have been a filler is because we know I'm going by what I was told, how basically Negan's not going to show up till the end of the season finale. So they're going to go kill Negan this episode. So most likely when they go there, you're not going to see Negan. So what are you going to run? Were they going to run up on some men and stuff and Negan's just out doing something else? Like, that's what I'm trying to say.
They could run into more saviors and they could capture some of them, or they could do something like that. Or we could see Dwight, the guy who took Daryl's crossbow. We could see that guy and see what happened to him. And I just think tomorrow we're going to see somebody die. I mean, they did tease Abraham with that whole thing last week about like near death and everything. So we could see Abraham biting the dust.
So you think it's a big character?
Yeah, I think it's going to be it ain't going to be like Glenn. Definitely. I think
not like I'm not talking about like the huge character. I'm just talking somebody that does give a lot to the show.
Yeah, definitely Abraham, or
Because I would say Abraham gives a lot to the show compared to somebody like Eugene.
Oh no, I don't think Eugene would be killed off. I just saw an interview with him recently, and I don't think they'd kill him. I think because he read for the finale and all that, so Eugene's still alive till the finale. So I don't, it's gonna be somebody, or at least what I've heard, not like rumors, but obviously, I'm assuming this guy's gonna die. The guy that was at the end of the episode last week, the red shirt that came with the guy that stabbed Gregory, that guy with the red shirt, where Rick was like, "Can you take us to Negan's compound?" He's like, "Yeah." That. Just like a random character come in. Obviously, he's probably going to die tomorrow. That's a given. But, I don't know much because they showed the clip last week on Talking Dead. They showed that, like, sneak peek clip, and it was Rick in the church. They showed that in the promo as well, so they're not showing much. If you notice, like, in the promo, they don't show much except, like, them on the road, and then you see Rick and the group in a factory or some sort of, like, warehouse. So there has to be something big going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, going by, I'm trusting what you said. This guy's a good director. They always pick him for the big things. Yes, possibly it is going to be a big episode. I'm just judging by, we just had 2 good episodes, so usually you get an okay episode after a while. But yeah. I'm really hoping, I'm taking your word for it. I hope it's a big one. I just don't. I kind of like Abraham now. Like, I didn't like him at first. I hope they don't kill him off, because he's kind of like. I mean, I definitely know this season we're gonna lose Glenn or Daryl. It's one of the two.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, we're gonna lose one of them.
I mean, you just gotta think about it too. They're introducing more characters. Okay, there's gonna be like Jesus ain't no pushover. He's going to become a big character. So they got to pay that dude.
Right.
The cast is already huge, so they're going to have to kill one of the big guys off,
Right.
Daryl, some people say Daryl, hasn't said much words since, this like season 4 or Or you know, like there's been statements like that. Do you agree with that, or?
Yeah, I mean, more like from season 5 that he hasn't been saying much lately. But
why
yeah.
don't they do more with Daryl? Like, what's stopping them from doing anything with him? Is it just because of how his character is, where he's not, you know, basically he's not, you know, not the lady. He is like, does this make sense? He's the ladies' man for the people that watch the show, but he's not the ladies' man in the show.
I don't see how that is, honestly.
No, you know, do you get what I'm saying?
Like, you know, everyone loves Daryl.
Wait, you're
right?
not
like,
yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl, basically, for people that watch the show, the girls love Daryl, but in the show, he hasn't had sex most likely.
Right.
The only person we've seen him have close to a relationship with was Beth.
Right.
All right. I thought at one time he was going to sleep with what's her name, Carol.
Carol.
But he's not. He's like, he don't have nobody. Like they could do stuff with him like that. Get him a girlfriend or something where he has. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're
not doing anything with him.
You follow what I'm saying, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. They need to give him something of a storyline, basically.
Yeah, there's no. It's like they don't do nothing with him. Like he's a big character, but like even Glenn, he's with Maggie, he's having a kid. There's stuff going on there, you know. But Daryl, it's like he's a big character, but they choose to not do nothing with him. Like he's just this guy that walks around with a crossbow or whatever knife, and that's that's his main thing. Now he don't even have his bow no more, you know.
Right.
So. But yeah, what would you have to grade this episode if we had to grade it?
Well, I gave it an A- as well, so a 9 out of a 10.
Okay, and I'm going with I like this episode a little bit more. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I believe I gave the last one an 8, so 8.5 for this one.
Nice.
But yeah, other than that, tomorrow is the Walking Dead podcast. Like I said, guys. I would like to get more people in on this. I have plans for this podcast. I'm sorry I haven't been doing it like I want to, but I have some really big plans for this podcast. I want to get some more people involved for those plans with me and Daniel. And I appreciate you, Daniel, for joining as always.
Always a pleasure.
And everybody that's watching, I appreciate it a lot. Like I said, if anybody wants to join the Movie Tweaker podcast, let me know. You know, if you like movies, like stuff that we're talking about in this podcast, and you can bring a lot, you know, something to the table or a lot to the table, you're more than welcome to join. Thank you, Joni, for watching. And another thing, like, I didn't even see these comments before. I think something's fucked up with YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's a mess lately. But thank you, Whatnot, for watching. Joni, I didn't see your comments, guys, till now because YouTube, there's something fucked up. And Diaper Striker. Thank you, guys. More podcasts to come.